Good morning and welcome to today's administrative meeting of the Public Service Commission. Before we get started today, I'd like to recognize one of our newer hires who just started this week, Olivia Kirkendall. Olivia, right there in the front row. Olivia joins our technical division staff with the Telecom, Gas, and Water division, where she's going to be one of our new economists. Olivia's a native of Maryland, currently a resident of Laurel, for where I lived for many years. Prior to coming here, she did her studies at both Manhattan College up in the Bronx, as well as University of Maryland. I'm assuming College Park? Yeah. College Park, another Terrapin, where she received her degree in environmental economics. She also has some experience working for the Food and Drug Administration, where she analyzed the effects of various farming programs. So, Olivia, welcome to the Commission. We look forward to having you work alongside of us. We do have some minutes from the June 5th meeting to approve. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the minutes from the June 5th administrative meeting.
Thank you. All in favor? The minutes are approved. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There is no consent agenda today. The first item on the administrative agenda is Washington Gas Light Company, filed on April 25, 2019, an application for authority to exercise its franchise to provide natural gas services in Chevy Chase View, Village North Chevy Chase, and Village of Chevy Chase, Section 3 in Montgomery County, Maryland. Case number 9607.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Peter Wilson on behalf of the staff. Pursuant to Public Utilities Article 5201, WGL has filed an application for authority to exercise 3 non-exclusive franchises to provide natural gas services, granted it in 2017 by the communities of Chevy Chase View, North Chevy Chase, and Chevy Chase Section 3, all in Montgomery County. WGL has been serving these communities for decades, long before they were incorporated municipalities and authorized to grant utility franchises. WGL will continue to provide gas services to these communities in the same manner if the exercise of its franchise is authorized. WGL has no current plans to undertake new construction projects or an extension of gas distribution infrastructure in the communities as a result of this franchise. PUA 5201 and COMAR 20.07.04.03 require a corporation seeking authorization from the Commission to exercise a franchise to provide certain information and documents. Staff has reviewed the application, and all required documents have been provided and attached to the application. In addition, WGL has provided all relevant information. WGL asks that a waiver of the requirements of COMAR 20.07.04.03A 2 through 9 be granted as provided in the regulation. Much of the information sought in those COMAR provisions anticipates the applicant is undertaking the provision of a new utility service requiring construction, and therefore is not applicable to WGL here. Given that, WGL has provided all relevant information and meets the requirements of the statute and regulations. Staff recommends the waiver be granted and that the Commission authorize WGL to exercise its franchises to provide natural gas services to the communities.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Counsel for Washington Gas.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. John Dodge appearing on behalf of the company. Nothing to add, but happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Just to be clear that the utility currently provides service to customers within these 3 municipalities?
That's correct. My admittedly limited historical research indicates that we likely started providing service in the early to mid-1930s in those communities.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Donnell.
Good morning, Mr. Dodge.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good to see you. It's been a long time.
It has been too long, sir.
I would agree. It's been way too long, Mr. Dodge. I wanted to ask you if you knew if WGL, if the company had any STRIDE activities going on in these communities.
I don't believe there are any on our 2019 project list that the Commission fairly recently approved. I can double check that. And I don't know if there were any of the 2018 projects that held over or Stride 2 that were in those communities. I believe the answer for both is no, but I will circle back with that confirmation.
I appreciate it, and you wouldn't know, I'm suspecting, if any of the services in these three municipalities are the low-pressure systems.
I would have to get ops or engineering to
I
help
would
me
be
out about
satisfied, I'm okay with this, but I would be satisfied if you would contact me personally.
that. I will do that, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move we grant Washington Gas Light Company authority to exercise its franchise to provide natural gas services to Chevy Chase View, Village of North Chevy Chase, and Village of Chevy Chase Section 3 in Montgomery County, Maryland.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes.
Item number 2 is Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, filed on May 6, 2019, notification of debt issuance.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Kenneth Albert on behalf of staff. This item addresses a filing by Chesapeake that notifies the Commission that Chesapeake will be issuing $350 million of unsecured long-term debt and $150 million of common stock for the purpose of funding capital expenditures and working capital requirements. Chesapeake can also use the proceeds of the new debt to pay down a portion of its existing debt. Pursuant to Public Utilities Article 5203 and 6101, a public service company that's a corporation needs Commission authorization to issue stocks, bonds, or other indebtedness which is payable wholly or in part within more than 12 months after the issuance. However, prior authorization is not required for the issuance if the three criteria are satisfied, and those three criteria are satisfied here. Specifically, the gross revenue was less than 3% of the gross revenue of all public service companies. In May 2019, the Delaware Public Service Commission did approve the transaction, and the company did provide notice of the transaction. Therefore, Commission approval is not required. The debt and stock issuance are in the public interest because they will be used to support Chesapeake's operations. Consequently, staff recommends that the Commission note the filing.
Thank you, Mr. Alpert. Good morning, Counsel for Chesapeake.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Didn't mean to interrupt. Brian Quinn. I'm here for Chesapeake, just to answer questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Do the Commissioners have any questions? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Commission note the filing.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is approved. Seeing no additional business before the agency this morning, this meeting is adjourned.